an inmate at the Lackawanna County Jail. To accept this call, press 0. To refuse this call, hang up or press 1. This call is from a correction facility and is subject to monitoring and recording. If you are an attorney and do not want this call recorded, please hang up and call 570-963-6639, extension 4522, or extension 0 after business hours. Thank you for using Global Tel-Link.
Hey, what's up, man?
I'm wondering, really, sorry it's so early down here, man. We're still on this, weird lockdown, so we only get out at, certain times. And just want to get a few times that I could actually get on the phone, so.
Hey, no problem. I understand. They don't let you out. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, it's crazy up here, man. They've had us on lockdown for, 3 weeks. I mean, the facility's, barely even compliant with the CDC guidelines that I was given by the U.S. Attorney. It's awful, man. We went, 2 months now. Monday will be 2 months with no haircut, for anybody. I've never seen it again. Our state that we live in here, I live in PA. It's weird because, Trump wants us to go off of the national lockdown and the national, social distancing. But this state here, our governor is not. He wants to continue it. And, I can see, the front of the building of the jail out my window. And there's 2 flags out there. There's the American flag and there's the Pennsylvania flag. And it's funny because, they keep putting them at half staff, either the American flag and the PA flag, or the American flag, today will be flying full staff, but the PA flag is flying half staff. It's just, it's like the whole world just fell apart, man.
Yeah, this whole fear, everybody's living in fear, and I don't know, man, it's just, I never thought our country would turn into something like this, and everybody's become a $1,200 whore. They're getting their $1,200 from the government,
Yeah, it's a good, it's funny you're right about that. It's the welfare mentality that people have, and it's, what I would think is funny is, we always give aid to every country in the world for anything, man. I mean, you see, a storm happens, and we're giving aid. And, I have not seen one news story on any aid that any country has given us throughout the coronavirus. I haven't seen one country come out and say, hey, we're going to help out America. You guys are getting hit the hardest right now.
Yeah, right. That's a good point.
I hope next budget season we cut off everybody who didn't help out. Yeah, I saw in the news last night, I saw they had protests down in your city down here, Austin. I saw somebody had a big sign that said, I need a haircut. There's a bunch of people protesting, so people are at least starting to assert their right to just don't need to be locked up anymore in their houses.
Hey, Shawn, yeah, I drove down there 3 hours, and it took me 3 hours to get there, and I took an hour-long video, maybe an hour and a half, and I was part of the protest, man. I was walking around, and at least there's a few Texans that aren't afraid of this stupid virus,
Yeah, it's, you got a pretty neat culture down there. I saw the state house, the state capitol building down here on the news. But yeah, that's, people just getting tired of it. Even Trump came out. Trump, to his credit, he mentioned the Virginia militias was cool, and he came out and kind of stuck up for the protesters. It's just, I don't know, man. This is a deadly virus, and I'll give it that. I think at this point, everybody's been exposed to it. So I don't think social distancing is going to help at this point anymore, and I just think it's going to hurt. Like our state here, they have an order now that you have to have an air mask on to leave your home. So, one, what if you don't have the mask or money for the mask? And two, what are you going to do? Are they going to charge me if I leave my home without a mask? two options that came to my mind is one, the gas mask, because that would just be complete overkill and you couldn't see my face. Or two, just walk around with a red bandana, and every time I have to do something important, like go to the bank, watch them go on lockdown because I have a red bandana on my face. Like, it's stupidity at this point. Like, I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah. Yeah, in my opinion, even if this is a pandemic that is threatening the lives of millions of people, then the people that are concerned, they need to stay in their house. But the government cannot tell us to force us to wear a mask, force us to get a vaccine, force us to stay in our house, force us to spray Lysol over everything. I mean, let the government just make recommendations, but let the people decide how they want to live.
Well, exactly. I mean, they're not saying it like the more Lysol you spray on everything, you kill the good bacteria too. But I mean, it's just, yeah. I mean, I could understand this if it was like a nuclear emergency or something. But even then, it would be in a limited area. I mean, you've got them basically telling people that live in, say, Montana, that well, you have to social distance. Like, it's crazy. But I got my sentencing bumped up to June 17th.
Oh, okay. June 17th is a new date. Well, it's still a ways out there.
Yeah, because what I did was I objected to like a video court sentencing because a lot of people don't realize you can do that. Because I'm not going to be sentenced over a telephone pretty much. So bumped it up to June. Kind of sucks, but I mean, the virus is out of my control. You got what's going on with that. Found out that the cop who started all this with me, Officer Fred Lahovsky of McAdoo Police Department, my town, he resigned actually Tuesday. He turned in his resignation. He didn't give a reason why he resigned. So it looks like another little like quiet backdoor deal. Bags like to get dirty cops, so he just kind of left his job without any charges. But he's not a cop anymore.
Wow.
So, I mean, he's a man. He needs to be charged. I mean, he altered videotape. He testified at my state trial on altered evidence. I mean, I have a video of him standing and going to draw a gun on my father in the street. And at the same time, there's another officer, Joe David, who you can see remove a silver handgun magazine and throw it in the snow. And we had video of them coming back with other cops later to look for the magazine that they planted. Like, Lodge just did some pretty bad stuff. The guy needs to get charged. He needs to go away. But I'm working on some other stuff too. I can't really like say too much about it right now because it's like I'm in the middle of working on it. But I did have a contact last week from somebody, and pretty much on good end, there's not a problem. The person I dealt with was very polite, very professional. It's just becoming a problem on my end and the people out here in Pennsylvania. It's something I've been dealing with this issue since January. I've been requesting to deal with it. It took them until April last week to get back to me. So if I don't hear nothing by the middle of this week coming up, I'll go public with the information that I do have something I'm working on that's pretty good. I'm still waiting for my 72-hour phone conference. That was supposed to be a week ago, so I never got sent the paperwork for that. And it just never happened, so I'm kind of up in limbo with that. It's about it. It's really new year.
Hey, Shawn. We'll keep your June 17th sentencing date in our prayers. I got a question for you. Well, two questions. How's my phone coming through for the whole call? Have you been able to hear me okay, the whole conversation?
Yeah, it cuts in and out a little bit. I don't know. I'm trying to I don't think it's record on my end, but it cuts in and out a little bit.
Okay.
I can still hear it.
Okay. Other people tell me the same thing. Yeah, I'm going to have to get a new phone. All there is to it. Okay. So the other question, well, not a question, but I just wanted to share with you. So, because we deal with so many prisoners and there's so many innocent people that have been incarcerated, if you get a chance, and no, it's entirely up to you. If you wanted to write something like a 10-page letter, or even just call one time when you have, a prepared statement. One of the challenges that I have about your case is it's so complicated and there's so many things involved. It's hard for me to relate your story in a way that people can understand. So I think we talked about this a little bit last time. So if you ever want to, write your story, not a big long story, but just something short so people can understand what happened to you, that would help me advocate for your case, because it's a little bit complicated, all the stuff that's involved in your case.
Yeah, give me, I want to say a week or two at least, and
Yeah.
I can work on that. Like I said, I'm kind of busy this week.
No, I understand.
But I can definitely work on that. I think it's a good idea. I mean, it's tough for me sometimes to grasp it off it, because there's so many spider webs that kind of left from it. So you had your initial case, you had your initial cops that initially worked on the case. Then there was other cases, and then there was cases that the cops came out because they couldn't get nothing on the initial investigation, so they turned it around and caused other cases. And so I can definitely do something. I'm gonna make a note of that here on my paper.
Yeah. Well, think about it from the perspective of somebody who doesn't know who you are, and they're just learning about you for the first time. And they want to know what happened to you, what you were charged for, how you were set up, how they manipulated evidence, how they rigged the trial. I mean, things like that, just so that they can understand, because most people, Shawn, ain't going to spend more than 10 minutes at most, trying to understand anything about a prisoner. So we got to make it kind of short and brief. Otherwise, they ain't even going to read it.
Yeah, I know. And what it is too, is you get into the legalese. And the legal stuff confuses me, and I've been dealing with it for 2 years. Yeah, I can definitely do something.
Okay.
Guys, I've had a bunch of stuff happen last week. So I've been kind of I've had one person who actually I've been dealing with for a year, who actually goes directly back to the Pennsylvania State Police, and this person came out and was talking to me, talking to my family, and she turned out to be an undercover state cop.
Wow.
So actually, they kind of stopped. They've kind of cut me off because the investigation went nowhere, and this person testified at my trial. So it's becoming a problem for them. But yeah, I can definitely. Well, I said I don't want to give a definite time frame, but I can definitely work on something like that. Maybe send it to you guys.
Okay. Well, I know you got a lot of things going on with your legal and your sentencing coming up. So just whenever you get a chance, but I just want to be able to relay your story in your own words, in a way that's accurate. I don't want to mess it up. And I know people ain't got a long attention span nowadays. So I want to give them something that's a little bit brief and, just has all the highlights.
Yeah, it's a good idea. I appreciate that, Rudy. That's a problem you get even in courts, believe it or not. My biggest problem I've ever had going into court is trying to get out arguments in a court setting, because they don't give you enough time to do it. It's like a McDonald's drive-thru. A
Right.
preliminary court one time that has a drive-thru window. Judge Amenko's courtroom in Readily, Pennsylvania. He's a magistrate judge out here. And this guy actually, another spiderweb story, he lost paperwork in my case. He actually made me pay money, and he lost the paperwork in the case. The guy's a scumbag. But his court actually is in an old, strip mall, and it used to be a bank. So you can actually drive through teller's window, because it's an old bank, and pay your court cost. So I've never seen anything like it. I don't know if you could look that up on MapQuest or something, or Google Earth or something, but it's crazy, man. But I remember I got kicked out of the courtroom. I was removed from the courtroom in Schuylkill County because the judge said that my sentencing statement was too long. even though it was all facts about the case. It should have been considered by the judge. And I was removed from the courtroom. So it's just, Texas fans definitely all should.
Wow. Yeah, I got no faith in our criminal justice system. Our criminal justice system is just so wicked. I think the people of the United States of America should, just ask for a complete disbanding of the FBI and disbanding of our. We need a major overhaul, right? We need cameras in the courtroom. There's all kinds of things we can do to make it better, but right now it's completely broken.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you had cameras in the courtroom, it would stop what the feds do here, which is they give you transcripts and then the audio doesn't match the transcript.
Right, I've seen that before. Yes, you're not the first person that's told me that. I'm absolutely in agreement with you that they do modify the transcripts, and they don't match what was said in the courtroom. Absolutely.
Yeah, we have a lot of scumbag judges and prosecutors that do that here, but it's yeah, I mean they really need to change the FBI. I mean, I have the problem with the FBI. There's multiple reports that they have to take from me. And the matter that I was telling you about, and I'm going to speak about next week, is something that's in good jurisdiction. And the problem is they need a report from me on the matter. The problem is if they take a report from me, they have to admit it in my case for similar charges. That they never had reports filed against me. So just the FBI, man, they're scumbags. I mean, really what people need to do in this country, we need to just, I mean, if the country is going to come back together, you need to have, I don't want to say a militia takeover because that sounds like an FBI setup, but you need to just have people come together and say, you know what, the courts are not working, the state codes are not working. Either rewrite them and redo this, or we're just going to come together and form our own communities and have our own jurisdiction. I mean, people, Montana Freeman, even though most of the law that I read, just from the book I had and from what I saw, wasn't the best law out there, you still have that ability. You can still form your own communities, your own counties, like within a state, and have your own laws and your own code. And that might just be the best way for people to go about this, because we have now under the Uniform Commercial Code, which they pretty much do follow to be in line with the federal code of regulation, just are not working. I mean, it's like in my state, these courts don't work. I mean, we have preliminary courts where they can hold you on hearsay at a preliminary hearing when the state law says that you can't, the state code says you can't, but they use case law that says they can't. Like, it's just, I don't know, but I mean, it's my biggest fear, like, nowadays is not from criminals, it's from the government.
Yeah, well, the government is criminals. The government is criminal.
Yeah, I mean, because they have the authority, man. They have the power that they can detain you. They can use unlimited force on you. And the thing is, you know, if you use force on them, they're going to kill you before you even get a chance to go to trial. So, like, it's really not a good situation. I mean, you know, they always scream about gun control. I'm into gun control for the cops at this point, because I had a 74-man group of armed vigilantes, to use that term, hit my house on a bad search warrant. They had an armored personnel carrier, a helicopter, AR-15s, semi-automatic handguns, bulletproof vest, and they came in like jackboots. I mean, these people are very dangerous. I've never had one person who is a legal gun owner, okay, come into my house with an assault rifle who's a citizen, who's a legal gun owner. But I've had police do it multiple times on issues where legally they had no legal grounds at all to come to my home with those weapons. I mean, I could digress, but I have back in 2015, I have a U.S. Marshal, Christy, who's taken me away without a warrant, which is illegal at the time. I was on federal.
You have 1 minute remaining.
Taking me away without a warrant. I have video of him with his gun already drawn. Like, it's crazy, man. But hey, before we leave, how's your mom doing? Because I know she's in a senior center down there.
Yeah, we haven't seen her in over a month. I talked to her on the phone, and she's doing well. But hate it that they won't even let us visit her. But you know, this world has gone has gone insane. Thanks for asking, though, Shawn. And you know, the stories of police abuse of power, we could talk about that for days because there's so many examples. But we're praying for your June the 17th sentencing, and I pray that you know, I pray that somehow the Lord works a miracle to get you out of there. It's absolutely insane what's going on.
Yeah, we'll see what next week brings, buddy, because hopefully if what I'm working on now goes good, it will go back and kind of explain a lot of it. But hey, God bless you, Rudy. I'll be in touch with you guys probably either later next week or the weekend or something. See how it pans out for me. God bless you, and I'll be in touch.
Okay, God bless you, Shawn. Good hearing from you.
Thank you for using Global Tel Link.